Hi, I'm Donna, an OpenSciEd teacher. This video will go over B5 Lesson 8. My students really enjoyed this lesson because it allowed them to shift from what can happen to Arctic species to what can be done to protect endangered species throughout the world, and how can we apply that to the polar bear. There's also a really fun way to localize this lesson that I'll go over in the material management tips and tricks. This video, we will go over how we got here, lesson at a glance, key moments, and material management tips and tricks. So during lesson 7, we figured out that there are repeating patterns in the cause of past mass extinction events that are connected to patterns in human actions today. In this lesson, we're wondering, what are our options for protecting species from extinction? Lesson at a glance, it's an investigation, should take 3 days, 20 minutes material preparation, not a hands-on investigation, but does require devices. Students are going to be doing some research in groups, which is what the devices are for. There are 3 sense-making loops. Loop 1, which will be over the first part of day 1, or the most of day 1, we're going to have students recall what they wrote in their progress trackers at the end of the last lesson and raise the question of, should we prevent the extinction of polar bears or not? We'll explain the endangered species designation, introduce case studies, and discuss how to evaluate online resources. Students figure out that to be considered endangered, a species has to meet specific criteria. Examples of endangered species include the manatee, California condor, and American bison. And we're wondering, what is our role in protecting endangered species? Loop 2, which will be the end of day 1 and the beginning of day 2, the students will conduct research in groups on their case study species. We'll have a social emotional learning check-in, share research with groups, develop posters, and then have a gallery walk to stay others stray. Students figure out that endangered species can be protected from extinction through habitat conservation, relocation, breeding programs, and long-term storage of genetic material. And we wonder, can we apply any of these methods to the polar bear? Loop 3, which will be the very end of day 2 and all of day 3, we're looking at, how do we apply these new ideas of protection to polar bears? What's the best solution? So reflecting on what the best solution would be, share polar bear case studies, and then evaluate options for the polar bear as a class, and then finally complete an exit ticket about saving the polar bear from extinction. We figure out that polar bears would be hard to protect from extinction because they are large and can't live in warm climates. And we wonder, are there other species that we could protect? Well, we figure out in this lesson that options for protecting endangered species include habitat conservation, breeding programs, species relocation, and long-term storage of genetic material. That protecting species from extinction requires time, money, resources, and a lot of stakeholders have to collaborate together. And finally, that protecting polar bears from extinction is challenging because they are large, they have a long lifespan, and they reproduce slowly. Seeing the key moments. Part 2, explain endangered species designation. So how do scientists designate a species that is at risk? What's the criteria? How long does it take for a species to be designated as endangered or vulnerable? Who decides? Is it scientists? Is it the government? Is it a combination or collaboration of these stakeholders? And this is one that my students really were passionate about. Does it make a difference? Part 5, after the initial reading, so after students do the initial readings on the different species that are endangered, the case studies, now they're going to explore other resources to determine what's being done to protect these species. And we're thinking about, how well does a solution prevent extinction? Is it working? Is it not working? What are the constraints? How much time does it take? Cost, regulation, who cares? Who are the interested parties that wants to conserve these species or potentially not conserve the species? And how does this technique protect genetic diversity? We can't just put a bunch of animals in a zoo and expect them to continue, because over time there's going to be a decrease in that genetic diversity. And as we've learned, you need genetic diversity in order for a species to thrive. And can the species continue to evolve on its own? Part 8 will develop posters to communicate what they figured out, what the students figured out. And what I really like to have the students think about is, how do we organize what we figured out? It's one thing to just put a bunch of information on a poster. It's another to be able to communicate in a clear way to your peers what you figured out. And could we then get some ideas about how to protect polar bears from these different conservation methods? And then the poster should include evidence along with statements. You got to make sure you're including that evidence, that data to back up the claims that are being made on the poster. Part 9 is the two stay, other stray gallery walk. So 2 students will stay with the poster. The other students in the group will navigate around the room to the other posters. The 2 that stay are going to give their presentation. Here's what we figured out. This is the species. These are the conservation methods. This is how successful they are. And then after some time, they'll go ahead and swap. The ones that stayed now stray. And they're looking at the status of other species at risk of extinction and what approaches are taken to protect them. The students learn about their individual case study and what methods. Now let's expand what we figure out. What evidence do you have that a species is doing better, that the conservation method is working? What happened to genetic diversity? Again, really focusing on that genetic diversity piece of it, and what makes this technique challenging to implement. Is it the time factor, the cost, resources? Part 13, we're going to take all that we figured out about what has worked for previous species and evaluate options for polar bears. So what solutions are we considering for polar bears? What do we think will work? How would these solutions protect the polar bear from extinction? What are the consequences of these potential solutions? I'll have students suggest, let's just take all the polar bears and put them in a zoo. Then we're keeping them alive. But we discussed previously a consequence. If the polar bear goes extinct from the Arctic ecosystem, there are consequences on the other organisms, the other species that live there. And what outcome do we want? Is it just to keep the polar bear species alive? No, we want more for them. We want more for the species. We want a big population of bears that reproduce and evolve naturally. We want to protect the entire ecosystem, not just the polar bear. And then this is one that I will have students bring up. What if we just let nature run its course? A lot of students will bring up that they've heard about, wildlife photographers and videographers that have a rule about if they see something happen, they don't interfere because that's not their role. And we can have a really great discussion about what is the role of humans, and getting back to the ethics of it. Is it our place to intervene? Part 14, the students are going to complete an exit ticket about saving the polar bears. We've discussed as a class the options for saving polar bear, what the consequences could be. And now we're going to evaluate the benefits of the proposed solution. We're going to consider a range of constraints. What's the social, economic, cultural, environmental impact, and the evidence that the solution will maintain genetic diversity. There's that emphasis on genetic diversity again. And what if a student doesn't want to protect the polar bear? What if they get through all of this and they say, no, that's not the role of humans. We should not interfere. We should not intervene. We should not protect the polar bear. Okay, you can make that argument. Let's make sure that we're using evidence to back it up. If you're saying that putting them in zoos isn't going to work, what's your evidence for it? I totally support students going down that route for their claim. Where do we go from here? We researched ways to protect endangered species by investigating numerous case studies and applied these ideas to polar bears. So now we wonder, can we apply what we have figured out to a new phenomenon? Management tips and tricks. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this lesson has a great opportunity for localization. If there's a local species that's endangered, or you know of breeding programs at local zoos that students have visited, you can take one of the case studies, use that as a template, and create a new article for a local species. And there is some really great on-demand support library resources about supporting all learners. Some of those case studies can be pretty hefty, and there's some great tips about how to break the case studies down, how to accommodate for all learners. Last tip is how I have used AI in this lesson. I've used it to create those articles on local species. I've also used it to level the readings for students who need additional support. There is no personal glossary management. And the only poster that's created during this lesson are those case study posters. And I always like to put them up. The students love to see their posters up on the walls. Thank you so much for watching this video. Students in this lesson, they're able to figure out that there are lots of options for how to protect species beyond simply placing them in zoos, and that there are many successful programs. And I like this lesson because it ends the unit, the main chunk of this unit, by giving us hope for how the polar bear species can be protected and how other endangered species can be protected. Thank you again, and you got this.